Conditions clear out of below 12,000. Temperature 28, dew point 18, altimeter 3008. Visual approach, landing, departing runway 21 left. Hazardous weather information for Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio is available on flight service frequencies. Advise Ada Sierra on initial contact.
Okay, so we have information Sierra.
Right? This information.
Are you going to want to talk on the radio, or you want me to?
If you could get us out of here, and then maybe once we're in the air and I feel a little bit more comfortable with what we're doing, and I'm not so overwhelmed.
Okay, so what we're going to do is signal him we're ready to taxi by flashing the taxi light on and off.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep. Okay, he's not looking. Just power. Okay, flash it. Okay, release the brakes and give him a little gas. You've got the controls.
I have the controls. We're to the right, correct?
Left turn. Hard left. Hard left.
Oh, hard
and
left.
And throttle all the way back.
All the way back.
So we're going to stay here because we don't want to block the taxiway. But before we stop the airplane, let's straighten out the rudder pedals.
Okay.
So that now the nose wheel's straight, right?
Okay.
Ground, Skyhawk 73 Whiskey Papa. We're at waypoint Sierra. I'd like to go out to the north again.
73 Whiskey Papa, Lunkin ground, runway 21 left, taxi via Hotel Charlie, hold short 21 right.
Hotel Charlie, hold short of 21 right, 3 Whiskey Papa. Okay, so we're going to go out. Hotel Charlie, we're going to hold short of 21 right, right about here.
Okay.
So, taxi light on, and let's...
Okay, taxi light on. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
So, a little bit more throttle this time. You're going to be going uphill.
Okay.
So, instead of looking at the tack, your feet on the floor.
Okay.
Use the balls of your feet on the bottom of the rudder pedals to steer, and just go ahead and add some power.
Right, adding power.
Yep. Stop. Something's not closed. Keep your feet firmly on those brakes.
All right, my feet are on the brakes.
Ground, 360 Mike Tango, 21 left at Bravo, taxi for signature.
Calling, ground, you unreadable, say again.
Just clearing at Bravo, signature to Mike Tango.
To Mike Tango, on ground, roger, Bravo, Charlie, cross 21 right at Charlie, hold short 25.
Bravo, Charlie, cross 21 right at Charlie, hold short of runway 5.
Hold short of 25.
Hold short 25.
Okay, take me there.
Okay, I am...
Add power?
Yep, adding power. All right, feet are off the brakes, adding power. There we go, putting in the left pedal.
There you go.
Right
If you had not been a crew chief on a helicopter, there's no way on God's earth I would have just done that. We would have shut everything down and I would have gotten out.
All right, left pedal. Right pedal. I'm just going to announce literally everything I'm doing to you.
Oh, that's very good. I like it.
Okay, adding a little bit more power and right pedal.
Good. It also helps when you check an instrument or something if you point at it so I know that you're looking at the right thing.
Okay, perfect.
Take 2 Mike Tango, cross 25 Charlie Alpha to the ramp.
Cross 25 Charlie Alpha to the ramp, 2 Mike Tango.
I think I am staying on the line slightly better this time.
Yeah, you are. Try sitting on the line.
Papa, you taxiing out?
Yes, sir. We're about to turn left on Charlie. Sorry about that.
Oh, on the line like so?
Yeah, that's how you taxi.
Okay.
Okay, throttle back. We're at the top of the hill. You don't need to throttle that much anymore.
All the way back. And applying brakes.
Good, left turn.
Okay, left turn.
A little bit of power. Could have used a little bit of brake because we got a little late turn on this. Straighten out the rudders.
Okay.
There you go.
Ooh.
Right rudder.
Right.
It's confusing, isn't it?
It is a little confusing.
So a little bit more right rudder. There you go. Okay, so try and think of sitting on the stripe again, the taxiway stripe, what we call the center line. now that we're at the top of the hill, you probably come back a little bit, but
All right, pull back
there
to
you
the
go.
throttle.
Much better taxiing this time.
I can see a little bit better this time.
Push that handle down on the door handle, please. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that probably helps a lot, huh?
Yes, yes it does.
So you see those two yellow lights that are flashing on the...
I do.
Those are what we call wigwag lights.
Okay.
And they're also the...
That's 3 Whiskey Papa, turn right on 21 right, hold short 25.
Right turn 21 right, hold short 25, 3 Whiskey Papa. So we were going to hold short, that's a runway threshold. He now has cleared us onto the runway and back taxi on the runway. Anytime we're on an active runway, we turn on all of our lights.
Yes.
So...
Back to the right.
And whenever we're on an active runway, we don't talk about things unless it's something essential.
Right.
You guys observe sterile cockpit?
We do.
Below 10?
It's just on landing.
Okay.
So anytime we're on short final, sterile cockpit or takeoff.
Okay, so I'm going to turn on your taxi and strobe lights just because we're entering an active runway.
And I'm going to follow
Right
this
turn.
yellow line.
Yep. Start to turn now, please. There you go. There you go. See how that works?
I do.
So you got to let your momentum carry you through. And remember that nose wheel is attached to a couple of springs.
Okay.
So when you press on that thing, it doesn't turn like the steering wheel of a car.
Right.
How you guys doing back there? Good. If you put your mic down, you'll be able to talk to us. Put it right in front of your mouth.
I clear my throat a lot, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it's okay.
No, you're
Just as long as you know. So the next thing I'm waiting for him to say is he's going to give us clearance to cross this runway. It helps if we anticipate what they're going to say. He's going to clear us to cross. This is runway 25 in front of us, so we're coming up here. Runway 25. Then he's probably going to have us turn right on Alpha and hold short of 25.
Okay. Getting the hang of these little foot pedal things is...
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So notice there aren't any wigwag lights
3
because
Whiskey Papa, cross runway 25, turn right on Alpha, hold short 25 at the end, contact tower.
cross 25, right turn Alpha, hold short 25, contact tower 3 Whiskey Papa. So now we have clearance to cross this runway. They don't put the wigwag lights on a runway because it's a little confusing. So clear left,
Clear left.
clear right.
Clear right.
So
Oh,
we're going all the way across.
all the way across.
And then right turn on Alpha, which is the parallel taxiway for runway 25.
So it's the next right up here.
Correct.
Wrong foot pedal.
Right turn.
Right. Hard right.
And Lucky Grand Skylane 7590 Tango on Bravo going to the pound.
Oh, so you can start your turn. There you go. So we're going to go to the end of this before we get to runway 25 on the
Zulu Tango, you
left
going to waypoint?
is the
Negative,
run-up
we're going
pad
to
again.
All right, Bravo Charlie to the ramp.
Bravo Charlie, the ramp, 90 Tango. 314 Tango Mike, OJC with uniform.
OJC, I wonder what OJC is.
314 Tango Mike ground clear to Oscar Juliet Charlie Airport via radar vectors Lovey, which is Lima, Oscar, Victor, Echo, Yankee, direct Hotel Lima Victor, then as filed. Fly runway heading, maintain 2,500. Expect flight level 40010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency
Somebody's going high.
121.0, squawk 3743.
So we're going right.
Yes, radar vectors
No,
Lovey,
well, we're gonna go
Hallsville, and
to the end
file.
here,
It's going to be runway heading to
run-up pad on the left.
2,500.
Okay.
40 and 10,
Right up here
21
with the
nothing with
run-up
3743 coming at you.
How you guys doing back there?
Tango Mike, read back correct data, Sierra's current.
ground, this is Warrior 4385. Whiskey clear of 21 left at Bravo. Ready to taxi to confirm.
4385 Whiskey Lumpkin ground, text via Bravo and Charlie. Cross 21 right at Charlie, hold short 25.
Okay, so little left rudder.
Charlie.
Okay.
And then hold short
we're going to go
25 for 4385.
to that back corner, and then we're going to make a hard right, and we're going to do it together.
Okay.
Power back.
Power's coming back.
And just a little bit of right.
Okay.
Okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3. And then before it stops, straighten out the wheel. Perfect.
Okay.
See how that works?
Launch to ground,
Okay,
Gulfstream
now
7
we're going to go through the same rigmarole we did before, but this time we're going to do a control check here. We did it last time in the blocks.
Gulfstream 7 Hotel Bravo,
Thumbs
Lumpkin
up.
ground, you're cleared to Hayden County Airport as
You
take your
filed.
hand off
Fly
the
runway
ground.
heading, maintain 2,500.
Full right, or full
Expect
left.
flight level 43010 minutes
Make
after
sure that
departure.
aileron goes up.
Departure
And
frequency
make sure the other one is down.
121.0, squawk
Now
6660.
switch the control wheel around.
7
Up
Hotel
on the right.
Bravo to
That one's
Hayden,
down.
fly the
Down on the
runway
left.
heading
Okay.
2,500.
Now look over your right shoulder.
Expect 430 10
And
minutes.
pull back.
Departure
Elevator up.
210,
Push forward.
6660,
And
word
Elevator
signature,
down.
Sierra. It'll be a few
And
minutes.
now you can
7 Hotel
neutralize that.
Bravo, read that correct.
And full right rudder.
85 Whiskey, cross runway 25 at Charlie to the ramp.
Full left rudder.
And left. Okay.
Good. So we've checked to make sure that they're operating properly and that there's no binding or anything in the controls. Okay. Now,
Cessna 5540 Romeo,
hand on the throttle. So we're going to go
Says 40 Romeo,
Both.
runway 21 left, clear to land.
21 left,
Okay.
clear to land, 40 Romeo.
flaps up, mixture rich, throttle, open it up to 1700 RPM, and keep your hand on there with your feet on the brakes.
Okay, going up to 17
Yep.
feet on the brakes.
Yep. So with your hand on the throttle, use your left hand to pull the carburetor heat. And what we're listening for is a slight RPM drop.
Carburetor heat. I am pulling the carburetor heat. And the
That's
RPM
all you get.
dropping. Okay.
Because we have hot air going in there, it's not as much RPM, right?
All right, so do we want to push it
in.
back in?
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, we turn off the strobes and the landing light, all the lights, yeah, and the
Okay.
strobes here too. Okay. Now go to the mags and click it 2 clicks to the left. So go click, click.
Click, click. Click, click.
Now note your RPM.
Okay.
Go back to both. Now click it back to 1 click left
Okay.
and note what the RPM is. Then go back.
Okay.
Oh, don't go to start.
Yep.
Yeah. Turn off the left side of the master switch, leave the battery on, and notice that the light comes on and you've got an amperage drop.
Okay.
Okay, you're testing to make sure that the ammeter is working. Turn it back on.
Okay.
And make sure your primer is in and locked.
In and
Okay.
locked.
Now we go here, 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 here. Those all look good.
Okay.
This is set properly.
Okay.
This we set. The only other thing is your directional gyro. You're at about 170 degrees, so set it for 170 degrees. Push, push, and then twist.
Push. This.
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
You have to push to engage it.
Okay.
There you go.
And so that's about 17 there.
Now you
Okay.
can throttle back.
Throttle's coming back.
Checklist. So, we just did this. Now we didn't set the parking brake, we kept our feet on the brakes, which is throwing our harnesses on, cabin doors are closed and locked. The flight controls free and correct, that's what we did with this.
Okay.
Flight instruments are set, the primer is in and locked, the fuel quantity is checked. The fuel shutoff valve is on both, the mixture is rich. Elevator trim, throttle 1700, carb heat, check RPM drop. You want to make sure that there's not a big split. You want to make sure it drops no more than 125 RPM, and that it all worked.
Okay.
Throttle back to idle, throttle friction lock set, radios and avionics are set, they are. Wing flaps are set for takeoff. I'm going to take off without flaps today. And then we're going to line up for the runway. So
Okay.
that's how we use the checklist in civilian life.
Gotcha.
So let's taxi up 2 and we're going to hold short. You guys ready?
Yep.
Sure?
Okay.
Okay.
Feet are off the brakes. I'm going to increase the throttle.
Yep. So
And
the airplane's moving, so the
putting in a little bit of
taxi
flex
light
pedal.
on, please.
Taxi lights on.
And then we're going to hold short of the line there, the runway threshold again.
Okay.
Hello, Tower, Skunk, 73 Whiskey Papa. Ready, holding short 25.
Woo.
Okay, throttle back and stop.
Brakes are tricky.
73 Whiskey Papa, Lucky Tower, change runway 25. Runway 25, clear for takeoff, right turn out approved.
Right turn, I'm sorry. Runway 25, clear for takeoff, right turn out approved, 3 Whiskey Papa. Okay.
That's 40 runway, just continue
Go ahead,
roll
take
out,
the
turn
runway.
right and runway to left at hotel on the waypoint.
Well, we're going to try and square
Okay,
off
we'll
the
roll it
turn
out
so
all the way
we
to
use as
hotel
much of the
and
runway as we can.
waypoint
Okay.
for
It is a
closing
shorter runway. It's like 4,000 feet. No, it's
Roger, hook up to
5,125
left
feet, but
southwest,
there's a
on
hill
waypoint,
at the end of that one, so we want to take advantage of as much
Light
runway as we
flight
can.
1 on Lunkin Tower, direct to waypoint as requested.
So now that we're on the runway,
rescues,
turn on
caution.
your landing light and your
Direct waypoint,
strobes.
left flight 1.
Oop, the beacon has to be on. So strobes. Turn on the strobes. That one right there. There you go.
Okay. Going straight.
Yep, then line up and don't bring it to a stop. Just as we line up, we're going to add full throttle. I'm going to be with you on the controls. Okay, right turn.
Okay.
This is the runway.
Okay.
Okay, center the rudder pedals. Okay, light grip on the control wheel.
Okay.
Push the throttle all the way in and hook your fingers around the friction lock like we talked about. Speak now. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So I'm pushing the right rudder. I think you might be fighting me.
Okay.
I'm going to release. You keep it on there.
Okay, we are at 40 knots.
Okay. So we're going to stop looking
50.
at it right about now. We're going to
Okay.
take the nose. We're going to put it right about there.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's slightly above the
See how
horizon.
this ball's off to the right?
Yes.
You step on the ball to the right rudder, on the right rudder. So you step on the, if it goes off to the right, you step to the right. If it goes to the left, you step to the left.
Okay.
Okay? So, right rudder, please.
Okay, right rudder.
There you go. Let's lower the nose just a hair. Let's put the nose right about
Okay.
there. See that picture?
Okay, yes,
That's
I
what
do.
we want.
Okay.
Are you pulling back?
I'm not.
Okay. Okay, you're the controls.
I have the controls.
I'm just going to make minor.
Okay. To the right, foot to the
Right turn,
right.
November 3,
So what we're going to do is,
visit
when we get to
with
about 1,000 feet, that'll be about 500 feet off the
Citation
ground.
37 Victor Romeo, Lunkin Tower, runway.
We're gonna make a
21
right
left,
turn.
clear to land.
Okay.
Safe parking.
And we're going to do this one
you.
together.
2 and left, 37 Victor Romeo, waypoint.
So, a little bit more right rudder.
Light
Okay.
flight 1, remain west of
There
runway
you
2 on
go.
left for arriving traffic.
West 2 on left, Wi-Fi 1.
And we're going to turn around to a heading of about 010.
And 3 Whiskey
Okay.
Papa, just confirm 020 on your heading.
020 will work, 3 Whiskey Papa.
And 3 Whiskey Papa.
So he wants us on a 020 heading.
Okay.
So we got to roll out here. Now the reason why he wants 020 is because he doesn't want us to interfere with the incoming traffic for the other runway.
Okay. Am I allowed to let go of the throttle now?
Nope.
Okay, hands still on the throttle.
So I feel like if I let go, the nose is going to continue to come up. So let's put it right about there.
Okay.
Okay?
So you adjusted the trim there.
Yeah, I trimmed
Okay.
it down just a hair. Okay, a little bit more right rudder.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. So we want to climb out maybe about 70 knots.
Okay.
So just a little bit of back pressure.
A little bit of back.
Yeah, just a hair.
Okay.
Station
Oh,
7
I'm
Victor
sorry.
Romeo, traffic Cessna mile north of the airport, northbound 1,600 climbing.
Hi, Lucky 7 Victor Romeo.
They're on the west side of the approach corridor for you, so they shouldn't be a factor. Just let you know he's out there.
So he was just talking about us. Did you hear that? Yeah, you were right. I couldn't see this thing was in the way.
Okay.
So this is perfect right here. But notice we're not getting a whole lot of performance out of it.
Okay.
We are a little fast. The best angle of climb would be more like 60 knots.
Okay.
But that can be a little uneasy for some of your passengers.
Yes.
So, and if we were to speed up to 80 knots, you probably wouldn't get any climb out of it at all. So there's 2,000 feet. We're going to climb 2,500, then we're going to level off like we talked about.
Okay.
How you guys doing back there?
Good.
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 Did I hear a good from Natalie?
Yes. Ow.
Ow. So the big temptation here is for people to stare at the instruments.
Okay.
And the instruments are a reference, but what I prefer to see you do is use the outside references.
Okay.
Most of what you can get from those instruments, you can get from outside. So let's turn right to a heading is,
Okay.
see how that ball's off to the right?
It is. Right,
turn,
right.
yeah. Okay, roll out.
Okay.
It's 020 on the heading.
Okay.
And maintain 70 knots, please.
Okay. So how do I make it slow down?
Just pull the, you can pull the power off, but that's sort of
okay.
defeating the purpose. So now that we're approaching 2,500 feet,
Okay.
you can lower the nose.
Okay.
And
push in, right?
Yep. Now, take a look at the picture.
Romeo, just roll it all the way to the end.
Right about
and,
there.
right at the end and left at
As the
hotel waypoint. Welcome to
airplane
LUK.
speeds up, you have to trim the nose down.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
take your hand off the throttle. I'm pushing.
So 3
Pull
Whiskey
it back.
Papa frequency changes approved. I do have 2 Pilatuses northwest of the airport inbound.
Understood. 3 Whiskey Papa. Talk to you soon. Okay. So now that we've sped up, now you can pull the throttle back to about 2,300 RPM.
Okay. 2,300. I'm pulling
Yep.
it back.
So a lot was happening at the same time. I
It
didn't
was.
have, because he required me to talk on the radio, and so I couldn't talk you through. So, but did
Nope,
you
that's
see
fine.
how I trimmed the nose down? That's good.
Okay.
That's about 2,300.
Okay.
So now I'd like you to trim the nose down just there, just to see, let go for instance.
Okay.
So it's trimmed down a little bit too much. See how the nose is
Okay.
dropping? Pull it back up just a hair.
Okay.
Digit 611, LUK and Terry, you ready?
So you need to go ahead and trim the nose up just a hair.
Okay. With,
Just a
nose
little
down.
bit, just
Nose-
one little knob worth.
Digit 611, LUK and Terry, you ready?
Whoa, way too much.
Okay.
See how the nose went way up?
Yep. So trim it down.
So this is a lot more effective at cruise because the air is going over the elevator a lot faster.
Walker Tower, Cessna 80 Yankee, ready to go 21 left to the east, 80 Yankee.
By the way, I'm going over a lot more than what
This is
I would
128
normally
Yankee,
go
LUK
over
and Tower,
with-
change runway
with
25,
somebody
runway
who's brand
25.
new, only because you've been around this stuff. I get the impression you may have even sat in the seat a few times. Or at least been in the jump seat.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Shortly later.
But good.
Digit 611, LUK and Terry, you ready?
So ladies, that right there is the Kenwood Mall, if you remember.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to go up by Kings Island and just make a big U-E and turn around and come back.
Cool.
So let's get back to 2,500 feet though.
Okay. So we're
So-
going to push it in, correct?
Very
Or
slightly.
Nose
Now,
down.
yeah, what I'd like you to do is
Okay.
I'd like you to take that hand and relax. Just put on your, I can see you're like tentative. That's fine. I mean, if you got in here and just start flipping stuff, I'd be a little concerned about that.
Right.
Looking over
So,
pools.
what you need to understand, it's sort of, it doesn't make sense. Altitude is controlled by power. Airspeed is controlled by the pitch.
Okay.
Now, in reality, they work together. But what I mean by that, if you need to go down, if you pull the power off slightly and maintain the same airspeed, the airplane is going to descend.
Okay.
So a climb is a function of excess power. Okay? So let's go back down to 2,500 feet.
Okay.
Just by, don't worry about that for
Okay.
now. Just pull the throttle out maybe that far.
Okay. So just a little
Just
bit.
make, up. No, you can keep your hand on there now.
Okay.
So when you move the throttle, it's best if you put your finger here, because
Okay.
that way you can feel how much you're actually moving it.
Yes. Okay.
So pull it out like a half an inch.
Okay.
Now you can hear the engine speeding up. That tells you that you're descending.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to put the nose right about there.
Okay.
Now we're descending at about 100 to 200 feet a minute.
Okay.
If you pull the power off a little bit more, we'll descend a little faster.
Do you want me to pull it off a little bit more?
Yeah, pull it off a little bit
Okay.
more.
Pulling it a little bit more.
So now your airspeed's slowing down because you pulled back on the elevator at the same time.
Keeping this little lake as like my site reference.
Yeah. So this is called IFR, I follow roads.
Okay.
Not instrument flight rules. Today it's I follow roads. So that's I-71 right there,
Okay.
right? We're going to follow I-71.
Okay. To the left or to the right?
Well, which way do you think you need to go to get right over the road?
To the left? Well, I'm asking which road. This road I'm assuming to our left is the one on 71.
Yeah, the one on the left is 71. That's Montgomery Road right there.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I have the controls for a minute. How are you guys feeling?
Good.
I'm going to take my hand off the throttle.
Yep.
Okay. You have the controls.
I have the controls. Are you guys okay if I do a couple of things? Nothing really scary. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, anytime that we come out of the green arc, it's not really on there, you can't really see.
Oh, I see it.
On the throttle, we turn on the carburetor heat so we don't get ice.
Okay.
So right now, this is all the way back to an idle. This is sort of like what would happen if you took your foot off the gas in your car. We are a glider right now. In fact, the propeller is actually slowing us down. If the propeller wasn't going, the thing would be, if the propeller weren't attached, the engine would be idling at about 700 RPM. So the reason that's going faster is because it's windmilling like a pinwheel when you blow through it, right? So right now we can glide. You can see if the engine quit right now, we could easily land at Kings Island. Okay, there's an airport up there. There's an airport behind us. So we're gliding. Now to climb, I'm going to push the power in. And I'm going to maintain a pitch attitude with the nose right about there. Okay?
Okay.
So I let the airplane accelerate a little bit first, just because I don't want these guys to go, oh, I'm never going with him again.
We're fine.
Good. Okay. So now look at the wing. See that the distance between that wingtip and the ground and that wingtip and the ground is about the same, right?
Okay.
I'm going to take my foot off the rudder pedal, and I'm going to make sure that the nose stays going in the same direction. Look at that wingtip. Look at that wingtip.
Okay.
Look at the ball.
Okay.
If I straighten out the ball, in the climb, look at the two wingtips now. They're about the same, right?
Uh-huh.
So this we can learn, or we can see visually just by looking outside. This has killed more pilots than anything because
It's fixated.
they stall the airplane and they're not coordinated. One wing stalls, the other one doesn't, and they go over on their back and crash. Bad thing. Okay, so I'm going to pull the power back. And I'm going to learn, I'm going to look in both directions. I'm going to do what we call a clearing turn. I'm just going to make sure there's nobody around here. By the way, guys, that's Kings Island right there. See the big parking lot?
Yep.
Can you see it, Katie?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to do a stall. What we're going to do is we're going to set the thing up for landing.
Okay.
And we're going to go ahead and pretend that we just got too slow on final approach and we stalled the wing, okay? So the carb heat goes on. We just did a clearing turn, so we know there's nobody else around here. And we would look for other airplanes on the horizon. If they're at our altitude, they're on the horizon,
Okay.
or maybe just a touch above. Okay. Then I'm going to pull the power all the way off. And I'm going to trim it a little bit. We're below 110 knots, so I can add my first notch of flaps. And then once we're in the white arc, I can go full flaps. And I'm going to set up a glide at about 40 knots. Okay? So this is like, we're coming in to land, but I pull the nose up. Hear that?
Yep.
Stall? I'm going to do a full stall, so I'm going to let the wing actually stall.
One uniform Charlie, quarter left, midfield down, runway 21 left.
That's a stall.
Okay.
You always break the stall. I have to push forward. I add full power, and I start recovering by raising the flaps. So, if you didn't know that that was a stall, you probably would have thought, oh, hit another bump, right? But because I mentioned that we were doing a stall, I saw you go like this, right? Well, that's normal. I mean, I'd be worried if you didn't do that.
So we do auto rotations all the time.
Yeah.
And it still to this day, sometimes I like, you know, I'm like, okay, let's go, and then I do.
Well, this time you're going to do it.
Okay.
Tell you what, I'm going to make a steeper turn. You guys okay back there?
Yeah.
Good.
See the butterfly? Oh, yeah.
So notice we're at about 45 degrees of bank.
Okay.
Because there's an antenna down here and I want to stay away from it. Okay, we're going to take up this heading here. I'm not worried about the altitude right now.
Tower 1 Uniform Charlie has
So I'm going to give you the controls and you're going to do the same thing. I'm going to talk you through it.
Okay.
So that was our clearing turn. Carburetor
I have
heat.
the controls.
You have the controls.
Okay.
Carburetor heat on, please.
The carburetor?
Carburetor heat.
Okay.
There you go. Throttle all the way off. Just chunk.
Just chunk?
Yep. Lower the nose.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
One notch of flaps. Right
One
here.
notch of flaps. Okay.
And now just go full flaps. You can go full flaps.
Full flaps.
Now we're going to try and maintain about this altitude until we get down to a speed where we can actually glide. So right about
Okay.
here, lower the nose.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to be with you on the controls.
Okay.
This is like we're coming in to land. Now we screwed up. Oh, we don't think we're going to make the runway. We pull the nose up. It's a normal thing to do.
Okay.
And we're going to hear the stall horn. We're going to do a
I hear
full
it.
stall. You ready?
Uh-huh.
The nose is going to drop. This one's going to drop a little bit more.
Okay.
Push the nose down.
Push nose
You
down.
have to break the stall.
Okay.
Add full power and push the carburetor heat in with your thumb.
Okay. Full power, carburetor heat is in with my thumb.
Notice the nose wants to go way up.
Okay.
Raise one notch of flaps.
Okay. One notch of flaps.
You can raise all the flaps from the green arc.
All
Now I am pushing forward hard.
Okay.
I'm going to let go.
Okay.
You have the controls.
I have the
Use
controls.
the trim to lower the nose.
Okay.
You're going to need a lot of trim.
Okay.
There you go. Now we're back to our speed.
Okay.
And you can pull it back to about 2,300 again.
Okay, pulling it back.
Okay, so now we're going to do a little sightseeing for the ladies.
Okay.
So let's make a left turn.
Alright.
Now, normally we wouldn't be getting to that until several lessons in, but I'm hitting you with a lot of stuff. If you remember
You
a
are.
third of it, I'd be shocked.
Oh,
Okay?
You see our shadow. I know.
They roll out.
okay.
Let's go over Kings Island. The thing here, Kings Island is one of those places that a lot of recreational pilots, oh, let's go over Kings Island. It's like, really? Why do you want to do
Why,
that?
I don't like flying directly over things, but like maybe a little bit out of the way. You know?
And that's what I want to do. That way they can see. So, we're going to go past Kings Island, and then we're going to make a right turn to go back to London.
Okay.
The other thing that they have over Kings Island, sometimes they have skydivers who go into it. We don't want to hit any of them.
No, we don't.
They get really mad when you run them over with your airplane.
Yes, I would imagine.
See Kings Island, Nat, on the left?
Oh, yeah. Right there. Behind me.
Object 170 left carry right.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that whole
You're the
thing.
controls. Let's get us back. Let's make a right turn to a heading of south.
Okay.
So a little bit of right rudder when you do that. We didn't talk about that. And pull back. Remember how we have to pull back in the turn?
Okay.
That's what actually causes us to turn.
All right.
We'll take a heading of about 210. How's that sound?
Okay, where am I looking at the heading?
Right there.
Right there. All right.
Roll out.
Rolling out.
Okay. Now I'd like you to go ahead and add power and climb back to 2,500 feet.
Okay, adding some power. Oh, wrong way.
Full throttle. We always climb with full power.
Okay, well there's 20, that was 2,500 right there.
Well, you're at 2,300 feet.
Oh!
So we're going to go up to 2,500 feet.
Okay,
Jet departing prior to
full power.
Yep. So pull the nose up a little bit.
Okay.
2 and left, clear for the option, left turn out approved, 20 to 25.
So we've been messing with the trim, so you might need to add the trim. Feel free to put your hand down there. And if you're pulling, you need to change the trim.
Okay, so the trim needs to go, I'm pulling nose up, so I need to go nose down?
I don't know, are you pulling?
I was.
If you're pulling, then you have to go down with the trim. There you go.
Do you see all the pools?
Okay, good. Now you can lower the nose and pull the power back. So I am going to teach you an instrument scan. I have the controls.
Okay, yes,
I want you to do this. Whenever we do an instrument scan, we start here. This is our attitude indicator. It's a primary flight indicator. You obviously figured out what it does, right? Then we go to our directional gyro, our heading.
Okay.
Then we go back here, then we go to our altitude, then we go here, and then we go to our airspeed, and we go here. And they're telling us a story. If our altitude is going down and our airspeed is high, we're descending.
Okay.
We can back that up because this needle will probably go down there. If our altitude is going up and the airspeed is going down, we're climbing, right? So that's essentially the trick to that. So let's take a heading of about 220 degrees, 230 degrees.
Okay.
And I want you to take just about this heading.
Okay.
I can see the runway. The airport is 12 o'clock, just maybe like 11:45.
Okay, I see it.
Straight ahead, okay?
I see it.
So you are the controls.
Okay, I have the controls.
And I'd like you to get us there. You can put it up to 2,300 RPM. We're a little low, pushing it about 100 RPM. And then trim it. And I'm going to get the ATIS.
3007, visual approach landing departing runway 21 left. Hazardous weather information for Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio is available on flight service frequencies. Size 8 is Tango on initial contact.
Tango!
Sorry, this information, Tango 1653, Zulu observation, wind 280 at 5, visibility is 10. Sky conditions clear out of below 12,000. Temperature 29 dew point 18, altimeter 3007. Visual approach landing departing runway 21 left. Hazardous weather information for Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio is available on flight service frequencies. Size 8 is Tango on initial contact.
So one thing I forgot to, I was reading a text from Jenny.
Sorry, this information, Tango 1653, Zulu observation, wind 280 at 5, visibility is 10.
See how the
Sky conditions
climbing,
clear out of below
airspeed's going down?
12,000.
Okay.
Temperature 29 dew point 18, altimeter 3007. Visual approach
3007.
landing departing runway 21 left. Hazardous
good.
weather information for Indiana.
1 uniform Charlie, roger, left turn out approved.
Left turn out approved, 1 UC.
So why am I climbing?
Well, I don't know. We're because you're pulling back on the control wheel.
Oh. Okay.
I thought maybe it was like a rhetorical question.
No, that was a real question. That was a real question.
So
we gotta go, I see the runway.
yep. So I think it needs to be trimmed nose down. I'm going to trim it just a little bit nose down.
Fine.
Right about like that, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to give them a call, tell them we're about 10 northeast inbound landing. Hello, Tower Skyhawk 73 Whiskey Papa. We're about 10 northeast inbound landing, Tango, and we're parking at on the south row, hangar 39 today.
Number 73 Whiskey Papa, Lunkin Tower, make straight in runway 21 left, report a 3-mile final.
Straight in, 21 left, give it a call, 3 out, 3 Whiskey Papa.
Call Student 7 Hotel Bravo, Lunkin Tower, good afternoon, you up?
So the nose is up.
Okay.
You can hear the engine slow down a little bit. We climb. So let's lower the nose a little bit.
Okay. Oh, trim it down.
There you go.
I like that picture, not that picture.
So that sight picture is like we're
Call Student 7 Hotel Bravo,
look for
Lunkin
the
Tower, you up,
spot on
ready?
the windscreen
We are
that's not
both
moving, and that's
up
where
and
you're
ready.
heading toward.
Okay.
Call Student 7
So
Hotel Bravo, Lunkin Tower,
right
good
about
afternoon.
there.
Cross runway 25, fly runway heading runway
So
21
this
left,
kind of
clear for
airplane
takeoff.
is a little difficult
Cross
to...
2521 left,
the only
fly
thing
runway
that's difficult about it,
7
the cowling goes down like that.
It does.
So it's sort of hard to get that sight picture. You just have to get the picture and stay with it.
Okay.
So now I'm going to help you out on the controls on the landing, of
Okay.
course.
Yes, please.
They appreciate it too.
I'm sure that they will.
So we don't want to, you know, this thing, normally we fly the traffic pattern slowly. We do that, we're going to get run over by a jet, right?
Okay.
And everybody gets mad when you get hit by a jet. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the speed up. So I'm going to come back with the power. We're going to make a, we're going to come
That's
in
1
at
uniform Charlie, frequency
90
change
to
approved.
100
Thank you for your
knots,
approach
and then
today.
at about 1,000 feet,
Frequency change approved, we'll see you later, 1 uniform Charlie.
Says 3 Whiskey Papa, traffic, a Gulfstream departing prior to your arrival, runway 21 left, clear to land.
Understood, 2 on left, clear to land, 3 Whiskey Papa. I think that was a Gesundheit. Gesundheit again.
Thank you.
So, your perspective, if you were to look at that runway, are we high or low on the glide slope?
I would say we're a little high right now.
Yep, we're high. And unfortunately, our glide slope doesn't work. It's just sort of not there. But regardless, That means we need to pull the power off a little bit more and probably come down. Now, on a single engine airplane, this is fine. I mean, ideally you would never get low enough that you couldn't make the runway to land. And you'd stay at 3,000 feet, 2,500 feet until you just chop the power and glide it in. The problem with that is it's a little tough for them when they're trying to manage a bunch of different airplanes coming in and out.
Yeah.
So, now that we're getting close to our glide path, see how the left one is white, looks like maybe the right one, right two are red, sort of hard to see in the haze.
Okay.
So I'm going to come in with the power, and we're going to maintain 90 to 100 knots, just like we are.
Okay. I see.
Go 37 Hotel Bravo, contact
Notice how the
6 departure, have a
localizer's
great
coming
flight.
in.
7 Hotel
We
Bravo.
would never talk about this in the private pilot, but I know you've seen this, so that's why I pointed out. And it does help finding the airport in hazy conditions, right? Okay, so how do you feel about this picture? What do you think?
I feel like this looks better.
Yeah, this is pretty much right on. Now, I'll tell you what, normally we land with full flaps. I'm going to land without any flaps at all. So the purpose of flaps is to allow the airplane to climb or descend at a slower speed, right?
Okay.
We got 6,000 feet of runway. I don't care how fast we land. We can land this thing at 100 knots, we're going to be able to get it to a stop. So there's no need for us to use flaps for landing.
Okay.
So I'm going to land without flaps. That just helps us get down to the departure end of the runway a little faster. Okay? But it means that instead of slowing down, maybe instead of being at 50 knots over the end of the runway, we're going to want to be at about 55 knots because we don't have the comfort of having the flaps, which create the additional lift. How do you feel about this picture now?
We're lining up.
We're lining up. What about those 4 red lights? What do you think those mean?
Don't land?
Well, what they mean is that we're low. So that, if the left 2 are white and the right 2 are red, that means that we're on a 3-degree glide path angle to the runway.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just, we don't have to climb up to it. All we have to do is add a little power and increase or decrease our rate of descent. We'll just catch up with it. So now, we're still going 90 knots, right?
Okay.
We're back on our glide path. And I'm going to start pulling the power back because we can easily make that runway right now.
Okay.
We could come over the end of the runway at 90 knots and just touch down at the far end. We're on a high-speed approach. So I'm going to pull the power off.
Okay.
Because we're still going 90 knots, right? Here we are, we're 300 feet off the ground going 90 knots. But what's going to happen is we have the power off, the airplane's going to continue to slow down. So we're going to be increasing the pitch, and the attitude is going to go nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up.
Okay.
So we're at 75 knots, right?
Yeah. About, yep, there's 75.
I love that sinking feeling. Whoa, that sinking feeling. I love that sinking feeling. Beautiful landing. That's beautimous. See, even though we're on the ground, the reason the nose wheel is off the ground is because we're still flying. Right, I'm pulling back.
3 Whiskey Papa, without delay, turn right at Bravo, Charlie, into parking. You can just monitor ground.
Okay, no delay, Charlie Bravo, into parking with you. I'm sorry, we'll monitor ground, 3 Whiskey Papa.
Station 332, Mike Tango, LUK, are you ready?
So he wants us to hurry up because he's got the jet. They try and be courteous to those guys because it costs a lot of money to operate those things.
Right. Do you have the controls?
I have the controls.
And Citation 332 Mike Tango, hold short 25.
Station 332, Mike Tango, LUK, cross runway 25, runway 21 left, cleared for takeoff.
So
Cross runway 25.
he wants us to monitor ground, so that means that we just listen.
Number 2, Mike Tango on departure now. Turn left heading 090, climbing
I have to
5,000.
be across that line before he's allowed to take off
Turn left
behind
heading
us.
090 up to 5,000 to Mike Tango.
So, tell you what, strobe lights and landing light off, please.
Landing light.
Yep. So, we're monitoring ground. We got ground up. We open the door because it's really hot.
Yep.
Open the window, I should say. Some people taxi around with the door open. By the way, you know, you can fly this airplane without a door on it.
Yep.
Should have opened the windows in flight for these guys.
Oh no, probably getting hot back there.
Yeah, part of the reason why I wanted to hurry is you said 1 o'clock. I want to get you in.
It's just past 1. So actually, I'm supposed to be house sitting in Dayton for my friend Tyler. She texted me. She said her power's out, so we're just hold
power's
tight.
out?
Yeah, her power at her house went out. She said, hold tight. I said, okay.
That sort of stinks.
I know.
So we're gonna get back here, and I'll make the turn here. It's sort of tight quarters. How are you guys doing in the back seat?
Tango Mike, contact tower now. Good day.
Post tower, 4 Tango
I'll
Mike,
leave
good
it
day.
going. What the heck? See, the downside of having an intercom is you guys have to listen to me sing.
Hey, I like it.
It's okay.
So I'm going to do a little curly cue here.
Okay.
Trying to get us as close to a spot as we can. So okay, so lights off, taxi light off.
Taxi lights off.
Leave that one on.
Okay.
Avionics off.
Avionics are coming off.